What's up, guys? Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'm back here on episode 5 of my Sunday Q&A. This is a series on my channel where each week I go into the comment section of last week's Q&A and I pick out a few questions to answer, and we forget about all the tips, tricks, guides, raids, and monkey aids, and we just sit back, relax, and get to know each other just a little bit better. Ooh, yeah. Come here, baby. Sit down. Why don't you make yourself a little comfortable? Let MAK make it all better. Seriously though, it's just a chance to connect on a more personal level than what shoving my foot up the darkness's proverbial asshole would normally allow. So if you have a question that you want answered, leave it in the comment section down below for next week, and the better the question, the more of a chance I have of answering it in my video. So if you're gonna come here and be like, MAK, would you like to live in a dinosaur's asshole? Questions like that would normally be ignored. Seriously though, I would not like to live in a dinosaur's asshole. Before anybody thinks about asking that shit, no. I do not want to live deep in a reptilian asshole. So, fuck the reptilian assholes. Let's go asshole deep into some questions. So, first question is from Jude Donahue, who asks, MAK, has anyone ever recognized you in person by your voice? Yes, I have, because I've actually been recognized quite a few times since starting my YouTube channel. However, it's been quite a while, but the first time I ever encountered a subscriber out in the wild, ooh, a wild subscriber appears. I had about like 3,000 subscribers, and I was in line at the Battlefield 3 midnight launch at GameStop, so that puts a stamp on how long ago this actually was. And he didn't recognize me because of my voice though, he actually recognized me because of my face. Say, what? MAK, you don't show your face. Well, actually, I've had my picture on my Facebook since like 2011, but let's go ahead and let's ignore the Facebook, because I didn't stutter, motherfucker. I actually used to have my face as the avatar to my channel when I first started YouTube, because back then YouTube, it wasn't really a big deal to show your face in your avatar, because, you know, nobody really had face cams yet back in like, what was it, like 2010, 2011 era, and because good quality camera setups were still fairly expensive at the time. So, you know, having a 1080p webcam would have cost you about like $300, $400, maybe $500 at the time, as opposed to now where you can just go to Best Buy and pick up a 1080p webcam that does all types of shit for like $60. But I'm pretty sure that like right around this time was the whole like, you know, Woody's gamer tag, where he started exploiting, I'm sorry, he started showing his family on camera, and he was making good money doing that. And, you know, with everything that makes money in life, of course, it's gonna come with a few haters. And I sat there and I literally read comments from the internet attacking not only him, his wife, and his daughter, but also his autistic son. And my mind was just like, mind blown. I was like, that is fucked up, man. I'm like, how do you attack an autistic kid that he can't defend himself on the internet? Probably doesn't really have the best typing skills or basic communication skills, because that's what autism is. It kind of affects how you socially interact with other people. So I'm pretty sure that, you know, at the time, his son probably wasn't even able to defend himself. And I was like, man, you know, I'm sitting here in line with 3,000 subscribers, and I'm still growing, and I'm already being recognized off the internet, which I gotta admit, it was a little bit awkward talking to a kid that I barely knew, and he knew so much about me at the time because he knew like Fortress Craft and Minecraft and all that shit. And he knew all my gaming habits, and I didn't know shit about him. A little bit awkward, but the side effect of meeting that kid in line showed me how small the internet really is. And I didn't want a hobby of mine, because it's still a hobby, it's not really like a full-time gig that I do here, even though I do make a little bit of money off YouTube now. Back then I didn't really make shit. I didn't make anything off YouTube. It was just a hobby, and I was like, man, I don't want any type of negative effect from my hobby on my son or my family. Because if the internet is willing to attack an autistic child who can't defend himself, then in my mind, I see that there's no boundaries to the type of fucked up shit that the internet is willing to provide me and my family. So instead of getting myself all worked up because somebody was talking shit about my kid, I removed myself from that equation. Because honestly, on the real tip, that's the type of shit that gets your teeth knocked out with a fucking baseball bat. So, the only other significant time that I've been recognized was at Walmart. And I'm not sure how they recognized my voice. Maybe it was my laugh when I was, just talking and having a bullshit conversation inside the line. But sure enough, the kid, he whipped out his phone and he was like, pow! Took my picture while he was ringing me up. I was like, the fuck, man? The fuck you taking my picture for? And he explained that he knew who I was, and I was like, dude, delete that shit off your phone right now. And he wouldn't. So I called the manager over. The manager actually physically took the phone off him and deleted it himself. And from what I've heard is the kid ended up actually getting fired. And I kind of felt bad. But he kind of brought it on himself, especially because he's at work. You don't go around taking pictures of people regardless. That's just rude and shows no respect at all. But while you're at work, you don't take pictures of your fucking customers. That is the one-way ticket to getting your ass hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no. Well, actually, it's Walmart, so he probably went down the street and got a fucking job at the other Walmart across fucking town, because that's how Walmart is. You get fired at one Walmart, they don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, look, he has Walmart experience. They don't give a fuck whether you got fired or not. They're like, what'd you get fired for? Like, I drove a forklift through a wall. Oh, you know how to drive a forklift? Put this motherfucker in the back. He's driving forklift. It's like, didn't I just tell you I drove it through the wall? Fucking Walmart. They do not give a fuck. But yeah, I've been noticed a couple times off the YouTubes, and that's what, really, I guess, springboarded and catapulted my stance on not showing my face on the YouTube. I just don't want that hassle. So if you don't want a hassle in life, you remove yourself from the situation. So let's go ahead and talk about the next question from Matthew McKeever, which I'm not going to go ahead and spend a huge amount of time on, but there's a lot of newer subs around here that don't know the answer to this question. So I figured if I answered it now, I'll get it done, I get it out of the way, we can move on from this question. Like I said, you remove yourself from the fucking equation. I'm removing this question out of the equation so it's no longer answered. Answered. So it's no longer fucking asked in this series. And the question is, how old are you? Sir, I am 32 years old. I am old as fuck. But don't ask me when my birthday is, and don't try guessing it either, because rule number one is you never tell somebody that you don't really know or trust your birthday. Because if somebody has your name and then they have their birthday, then all they are is like a social security number away from being you. So don't tell people that you don't trust your exact birthdays. I never really understood why people go around doing that. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get fucking presents. Well, you're gonna get your identity stolen, motherfucker. That's what you're gonna do. So people are gonna be like, oh my god, didn't a few weeks ago he tells us he was 31 and now he's 32. Mac, are you a New Year's baby? And before anybody asks any of those questions, I'm just going to answer it preemptively. Like I said, I'm removing this from the equation. That's the whole point of this answer in here. Is I don't count my birthday on the exact day I was born. I don't celebrate birthdays at all. Not just mine, but I don't celebrate my girlfriend's or any of my friends' birthday. I know people are going to be like, Mac, that is so fucked up. But look at it my way. I feel like birthdays are just another day. So if you never celebrate a birthday and you just go by the year, then you never have to really consider buying anybody else anything for their birthday. Think about it. I buy you a shitty shirt. You might want this shirt, you might not. I spent, what, say $25 to $30 on this shirt, right? I spent $30 to buy you a shirt. And then you spend $30, say, I don't know, you buy me something like a fucking, I guess, what the fuck costs $30? Yeah, you buy me a fucking gift certificate for $30, right? I hand you a shirt for $30, you hand me a gift certificate for $30. Now you're stuck with a shirt that you don't really fucking want, and I'm stuck with a gift card that I gotta fucking spend somewhere that I don't even fucking shop! Well, couldn't we just make life simpler and not give each other anything? And then you could take the money that you were originally gonna spend on me, go buy yourself something for your own birthday, and I'll keep the money that I was gonna buy you for your gift, and I'll buy something for my birthday. Then we both end up with $30 gifts, but we end up with something that we both want. I think that's the best way to do it. Like my girlfriend, everybody's like, oh my god, you don't celebrate your girlfriend's fucking birthday. You don't give her a gift on her birthday. No, because I treat my girlfriend like she's special all year round. I buy her gifts just because I love her. I don't need to buy her a gift on Valentine's Day. Motherfucker, it is January 25th. If I feel like giving her a goddamn fucking present today, I will. There you go. It doesn't have to be a special day for me to be nice to you. I'm nice to you all year fucking long. So, let's go ahead and move on to Nathaniel Lewell's question. If I said your name wrong, deal with it, I guess. I was gonna say sorry, but that's actually a really weird name to spell. So let's pronounce. Goddamn, I'm all over the fucking place today. His question is, what do you enjoy in life? Now, I really like this question. I think it's a pretty good question because there are a lot of people I know that would probably have a hard time answering this, since not a lot of people take the time to enjoy things in life. And I'm not talking about big things like cars, houses, and shit. Everybody enjoys shit like that. I'm talking about the little things, the things that don't really make sense, but really mean a lot to you, and actual things in life that I enjoy. So one of the things I'll point out is one of my favorite things to do is standing on my porch at 3 o'clock in the morning, no one's around, and it's either snowing or raining out. So peaceful. Nature's out there kicking ass. It's doing its thing. I could look up and I watch the clouds go overhead all fast, and it reminds me that I'm on a planet that's hurtling through space at fucking millions of miles an hour, and, you know, people are asleep in their nice, cozy, warm beds. Nobody's out there trying to trek through the nature, and there's no footprints or tire marks in the snow to ruin it, and it's just solitude, man. It's nice. And I look out there and nobody else is out there. Maybe I'll see, like, 3 doors down, there'll be a guy standing on his porch, but you don't see him. All I see is, like, the glow of his cigarette lighting up and then going down. And he's out there just enjoying himself. And I don't have to say anything to him. He doesn't have to say anything to me. But we both know while we're out there, because we're enjoying the solitude, the peacefulness. And it's times like that where I'm pretty sure that's why Superman hides out in the Fortress of Solitude out in Antarctica, because it's quiet and it's peaceful. And I enjoy little things like the first sip of an ice cold soda out of a glass bottle. I can't explain it. God damn it, you give me an ice cold Coca-Cola in a glass bottle. I'm not talking about no American glass bottle either. I'm talking about the Mexican La Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. I'm talking about the shit that has the real sugar in it, not any of that fucking, what is that? Hydrochloric acid. It's not hydrochloric acid, for goddamn fucking sure. It's a high fructose corn syrup. That's what the fuck it is. That is the exact opposite of hydrochloric acid, motherfucker. But I love the first sip out of an ice cold soda, out of a glass bottle. Things like fresh warm towels out of the dryer after a shower. God damn it, let me tell you something. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. My fucking dryer has been broke for a year now. Yep. That's the story. And it fucking pisses me off because we have a laundromat that's not very far. It's like probably 2 blocks away. And my girlfriend, she'll wash the clothes here, toss them into a bucket, and then take them to go dry them, and then bring them back here. And I keep telling her, I'm like, why don't we just buy a dryer? Why don't we just go to Lowe's and pick out a dryer? And she's like, then it won't match the washer. I'm like, so we'll get a new washer. She's like, we can't afford it. I'm like, we can afford it. It's not gonna be that hard if I take the money out of my car fund. I've been saving for 4 years to buy a car. And she's like, no, well, we can't take the money out of that. You've been saving for so long and shit like that. And all year long, I have not had warm fucking towels out of the dryer after a shower, and it pisses me the fuck off. And I keep telling her over and over, we need to go get a dryer. She's like, yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. Now, a year later, I still don't have a fucking... I'm getting a dryer next fucking month. God damn it. I just made the decision. I'm gonna buy the dryer. I don't care if she likes it. I don't care if she fucking thinks it's the ugliest thing ever. I'm gonna get warm towels out of the dryer again. God damn it. I also... One of my favorite things in the world is the smell of a car with no catalytic converters and a big American V8 underneath the hood driving in front of me. The fresh scent of exhaust and that unburnt gasoline smell coming through my window. Oh my God. It's a small moment of euphoria. It's just heaven. I love the smell of gasoline and cars in general. Whether it's like oil, antifreeze, exhaust, gasoline, just being in the garage with those smells. It's amazing. Having somebody sit there with a really, really nice car with fucking just starting and taking it in, the smell, the exhaust, everything. It's like, oh God, yes! Love the smell of fucking unburnt gasoline. So I guess the answer to your questions is the little things, man. That's the little things in life. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy, but it does take quite a little bit of things to keep me happy throughout the day. So I like to pick and choose my battles, if you notice that. Like, there are some things in life that you just can't get away from. So you know what? If I'm gonna have to be around cars all day as my job, I'm gonna enjoy the smell of it. Ooh, baby, you smell so good. So let's go ahead and move on to the last question for the day. That's gonna come from Hex Knife. And he asks, hey Jay, have you ever considered giving up your hopes and dreams because of how far away they seem to you? Man, yeah, of course. I think that's part of life, is realizing that as you go along, you just start checking things off the list of things that you either want to be or could be, and you figure out that they're impossible. Like when you're young, you're a blank slate, you're an open page. But as you start to fill in those blanks when you get older, you realize that there are some things you can't do. It's like, oh, I'm afraid of heights. Well, let's go back to that list and we can knock off roofer, astronaut, pilot, so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying. Like, when we're all in grade school, we all want to be football players and astronauts and basketball players and shit. Even some people want to be baseball players, but then you find out that all you gotta do is stuff tobacco in your cheek, scratch your balls, and hit some balls. You're like, I could do that. But honestly, you just start to figure out in life, it's like, well, I'm not going to be 6'5" anytime soon, so I guess we're going to knock the NBA off that fucking list. But I remember back in my teens, one of the things that I really wanted to do was, I wanted to start a band with my friends, because music to me is like one of the most powerful things in my life. It's actually gotten me through a lot of the harder times in my life, is listening to music, and it just seemed like the greatest idea ever at the time. But then I looked around, I asked all my friends, like, you guys want to start a band? And I realized that 9 out of 10 of my friends I have, they're pretty much all lazy and not very talented at anything. I do have a friend that does play the bass, but outside of him, nobody else really wanted to, start a band. But I remember this one dude that I was friends with over the internet. He wasn't actually like, a real life friend, but I was pretty cool with him, and we actually met on a metal site where we were talking about, different bands and shit like that we seen, and he played some sick ass bass. He had a really cool fucking Ibanez, and he was like, bam, ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. He had that slap bass going on, like bounce, 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 bounce. Yeah, I was like, man, you're pretty fucking good at that. And he was like, yeah, he had a bunch of friends that wanted to start a band too. And he the exact opposite, He had a bunch of friends that wanted to start a band, but he had nobody that wanted to sing for the band. And I wanted to sing for a band, but I had no friends that actually had any talent. So what I did was, it's like, dude, you want to jam? You want to hang out? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I remember taking like 2 trains, 3 buses, and walking like 2 miles to the studio where they jammed and had a good time. And yeah, I went up in there. I fucking busted out a groove. I thought I did some pretty decent things, and I was really nervous. And afterwards, I kind of bounced out of there without really saying much or getting to know any of the guys. And that goes back to me having like social anxiety disorder, and also I guess the government does, I guess, consider me bipolar just because of the time that I spent inside of the hospital. That sounds so bad, but it's like, Mac, why were you at the mental hospital? Well, they gave me a choice to either go to jail or go to a mental hospital for 3 weeks. I was like, I'm crazy, yo. Fuck yeah, dude. You give me a chance to fucking go to a hospital or jail, I'm taking a hospital every single motherfucking time. But looking back, I kind of feel like I wish I made more of an effort to try to work something out and getting to know those guys a little bit better. But, at the time, I had an infant son and a baby's mama who, no offense to her, but she has no vision for life at all. She's the type of person who's like, how dare you put effort into something that might not work out? You should just be happy working at Walmart and making shitty money for the rest of your life. Which is funny, because she was going to school at the time, and I was like, well, how's it any different you going to school and me trying to start a band? Because there's no telling that what you're doing is gonna work out for you, which is funny, because all that school that she went to school for, yeah, she doesn't use any of it for a job at all. But, people think that if you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself, that you're not working to better yourself and your future at the same time. And, in reality, just looking back, she was a miserable person who had big hopes and dreams but never did anything for herself to make them happy. Especially since, back in the day I had my own podcast on the internet. It was play testing shit for EA, and she was like, oh my god, these video games are a huge waste of time. Could you imagine that? This was 2004 time on the internet. If I kept doing my daily podcast show, who knows what could have happened from there. But like I said, no vision. And it sucks though, because, there's things in life that you want to do that you think that you actually have a chance at doing, but, you roll with the punches, because if you stand there and you take the punches square in the jaw, they're gonna hurt more. So you go with the punches. I'm just gonna roll my head this way with the punch. That way, the punch just kind of slides off your chin instead of just sort of pow, hitting you square on the jaw. But yeah, I thought back in the day, I really wanted to be in a band and shit like that. But now that I look back at all the business side of things and music and all that, it's just, I dodged a huge bullet, man. That is one industry that is just completely revolving around fucking over the actual artist and the people that make the content, which kind of sucks. It's like, think about it. Bands put all the time and effort into making all the songs. They play the instruments. They sing it. It's all their talent. And at the end of the day, everybody just keeps taking this, their cut, ticket sale cut, this cut, that cut. It's like, man, is there a cut for me? So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. If you could leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it, because it gives me motivation to make more videos for you motherfuckers that watch my motherfucking videos. Hopes, dreams. How old are you, Mac? we went all over the place today, but I had a little bit of fun. I hope you guys had a little bit of fun. If you did make it this far in the video, go ahead and leave a question down in the comment section down below, one that wasn't already asked and answered in this question or other fucking Q&As before then. If you're like, how do I know what questions were asked in your other Q&As? Watch the vidges, motherfucker. So, like I said, my name's Jay, MorninAfterKill. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys later.